Namaste, dzień dobry, assalamu alaikum, ciao, konnichiwa, bonjour, hola. Good morning, good morning, good morning. This is Ken at 10. How are you? And if you're Polish, well, a very happy Mother's Day to you. How are you? Hope you're doing well. Fridays, we love them, don't you? Why do we like Fridays so much? Well, a number of reasons. Number one, it's the best part of the week. The expectation of the weekend ahead, especially this week, we've got the bank holiday ahead, so another day off. And just the thought of we can get people out the weekend for viewings, which is great because that's the time they're free. People are available to go out with their families and view properties. We do find, however, that on a bank holiday, it slows down a little because, of course, some people take the opportunity to go away with their families, go to the coast or whatever it is, queue in traffic mostly, bank holiday, rain, whatever. But apparently we're going to get some nice weather. Here in Norbury, I have to tell you, the weather is beautiful. The flower baskets that we got out there are popping. They're looking beautiful. Just watered those this morning, taking a great pride in those. And people are commenting, which is lovely. And as far as the market's concerned, a couple of things. First of all, just regarding the Renters Reform Act, just did a podcast on that. So do look out for that. Just search the Ken Humes podcast or the Property Buyer and Sellers podcast, and you'll find it pops up on your provider. And on that, just to say that it's coming, a lot of people are saying, oh, well, will it really come? Yeah, it's definitely coming. There will be changes because it's got to go through Parliament. First of all, the Houses of Parliament and then the House of Lords. And then when it's gone through those two different sectors, there will be many debates, perhaps changes. There's already talk about one change, which is for student lets. So if you're in the student letting market, there's a positive change on that. It looks like they're going to allow fixed term tenancies just for that sector for private landlords of student tenants. The rest of it looks like it's coming. The major changes are open-ended tenancies. This is going to be weird, isn't it? Where you've got a tenancy that doesn't have an end date, only a start date. And your tenant can give you notice at any time, and you can give your tenant notice after the initial 6-month period, or 4 months for 6 months, that is. So seems a bit unbalanced, that, but it is what it is. We always knew it was going to go slightly in the favour of tenants, didn't we? That's the whole point. No fault evictions are gone. Section 21, the idea that you can serve notice on a tenant, that's not going to be allowed anymore on the basis of no reason whatsoever. However, ground 8 has been reinforced with extra grounds, which are, I want to sell my property, or I want to let the property to a family member, or a family member is going to move in. And family member definitions are very clearly defined in the document. So they have thought out the fact that people are going to use this as an excuse. For me, the I want to sell my property one is the new Section 21 so far, from what I can see. And what I mean by that is landlords will use this when they want to regain possession. And there's not quite, the idea, it's really weird, isn't it? The idea that landlords go out there and say, I know I'm going to evict my tenant for no reason is frankly nonsense. Why are landlords? Because they want an income. Why do they want to kick their tenants out? Well, not because of the income, because if it's coming already, why would they want to kick them out? There's always a reason. And that reason is usually nuanced. It's subtle. It's something like antisocial behavior with a neighbor, unreasonable behavior, aggressive behavior, this kind of thing. Or frankly, sometimes just downright unreasonableness. And now the only way to get rid of that tenant will be under Ground 8, Section 8, and it will be the ground for I want to sell my property, or I want to move into the property myself, or a family member wants to move in. So that will be the change. But I see the selling of the property to be the loophole for that. It'll be interesting to see what they do to reinforce that. Just on interest rates, by the way, some bad news on inflation. It looks like inflation is getting sticky, particularly food inflation. I know bills are coming down as far as fuel inflation is concerned, but food inflation is running at about 19%. I do envisage that this will likely lead to further interest rate rises. Sorry, folks, I know, last thing we all want to hear, isn't it? But I do think we're probably we're not quite at the top of the cycle yet. And I think it will be another year before we're outside of this. That'll be sort of this time next year, we could be looking at dropping interest rates. Of course, it's only a best guess, but just looking at the inflation numbers, I think they're going to have to put up interest rates. I think we've got a bit more pain to come, probably another 1% on rates over the course of the next few months. So not great news, I'm afraid. But it is what it is, as they say. There are still buyers out there. There are still sellers out there. And that tells me two things. People are buying and people are selling. Is it in smaller numbers? Well, yes, of course it is. You have to get real and be skilled at the market you're in. And this is something a lot of agents don't do. All they do is call people, yeah, got this one, do you want to view it? When really, in a tight market, you need an agent that's going to be proactive, advising you what you should do, how you should do it. Should you take an offer? Should you stick And depending on what the feedback is and how the marketing is going, a good agent will hold your hand on that. And in some cases, our advice is stick out because you'll get more. And in other cases, our advice is actually, this is likely to be the best offer. You should go with it. And having an agent that you trust is absolutely tantamount to getting that right. Because if you're not sure about the agent, you don't trust them, then actually everything breaks down from there. So it's well worth going with an agent that you really do feel's got your back, because they'll save you more than whatever the fee difference is between them and the cheapest nearest competitor. And they probably won't be the cheapest. We're certainly not the cheapest, and we're proud of that. Why? Because we know that our services are worth something. They're valuable because we will save people money in the long run, because we'll look after them in ways that others won't. And that extra level of service you will not get from your average corporate competitor. So if you're thinking of selling, there is still a market there. We can do it for you. Obviously, there's auctions as well as a backstop. What we sometimes do when people are not sure whether their properties are going to go and really need them to go, put them on the open residential market. And then if things don't work out well and the landlord really needs to sell quickly, there's always the backdrop of the auction, and we can then flip it into the auction, as we have done with one of our clients recently, and he's having good success already with a number of inquiries on that. So that's it for today. Hope you have a fantastic bank holiday. Thanks for watching as always. We'll be back after the bank holiday on Tuesday with another update. Till then, look after yourselves, and if you can, your family and friends. Ciao.